Hello everyone, so this is Aditi Thakur and I am BTech second year student from NIT Warangal, and today I am going to demonstrate how to use Amazon Personalize web services for making a recommendation system. So today we'll talk about AWS Personalized Recommendation System. So, what is AWS Personalized? Amazon Personalize allows developers to quickly build and deploy curated recommendations and user segmentation at scale using machine learning. So basically, Amazon Personalize and AWS platform uses machine learning to deploy certain models which contain certain algorithms on the basis of which we can deploy the machine and perform our desired work and desired operations. Amazon Personalize can be tailored to our individual needs, and we can deliver the right customer experience at the right time and in the right place. So basically these are the steps in which you can use Amazon Personalize to make a recommendation system. The first step is to add your data, which includes user events and interactions such as views, signups and purchases. Second step is to customize your model and create a solution. Then you have to train your machine to tune to recommendations and access your recommendations. Now you can divide the steps into two parts. First is customizing a personalization API, and second is contextualized recommendation, which means you can add even more context, even more text to make your recommendation system even more user friendly. So this is AWS Web Services, and here you can see as I have taken the screenshot and I have opened my account in my console AWS Web Services. I have signed in, and in the search bar I am going to search for Amazon Personalize. The moment you go to Amazon Personalize, you will be given two options. First is to create a dataset group, and the second is to manage dataset group. You can only manage dataset groups whenever you have created at least one dataset. So your first step is to go and create a dataset group. To create a dataset group, you have to give some name to your dataset, and then you have to give it some time for its status to become active. Here for you all, I have given Aditi recommendations dataset previously, and we can see how this is going to work. So for any dataset to work, you have to give some files into it, and these files are necessary to train your model how your machine is going to perform. So datasets which I have used are MovieLens 25 million dataset movie ratings, and these datasets contain 5-star rating and free text tagging activity from MovieLens, which is a movie recommendation service. So these are the files which you get in ML25 million dataset, which is readme.txt, genomescores.csv, genometags.csv, links.csv, movies.csv, ratings.csv, and tags.csv. So we'll get to know later how these files are going to be used in our recommendation system. So when you have created your dataset, now you will be given three steps. First is to create a dataset group, second is to create interactions dataset, and third is to import interactions data. So for the first step, you have to again give your dataset name and dataset schema. Schema is what provides you and allows Amazon Personalize to understand and import your data. Here I have used an existing schema because I originally made Aditi recommendation system as I showed you before. So that's why I can use existing schema, but for you all, you have to create a new schema. So this is what a schema basically is, and your test CSV file should match with your schema definition. Now what does this mean? This means that your column names should match with the names and types of your schema definition. as you can see, this is the ratings file, and here the ratings file contains columns user ID, item ID, rating and timestamp, and the schema also matches and corresponds with the same thing. So as soon as you have created interactions data set, which is giving your data set a name and creating a new schema, and after that you have to import your interactions data. So now how to import your interactions data? You can import data from S3 or import data with APIs. In this module, we are going to learn how to import data from S3. So yeah, different domains have different data requirements, and you must meet the minimum data requirements to create a recommender or solution. So first is your dataset import job details. They have to know how is your dataset import source. Either you are importing it from S3 or you are importing it from APIs. In this module, since we are importing it from S3, so we are selecting the first option. You have to give your dataset import job name and your data location, which is S3 bucket path to your data, and this is your IAM service role, because Amazon Personalize requires permission to access your S3 bucket, and choose an existing role with access, or you can create a role in the IAM console with the Amazon Personalize full access IAM policy attached. Here I have chosen an existing role in IAM service role. So now, since we have got to choose data location from S3, you can't directly import your CSV files into your Amazon Personalized Recommendation System. You first have to import them into Amazon S3 bucket, and from that bucket you have to give the link in this data location bar. So now we'll go to Amazon S3 bucket, which is a scalable storage in the cloud service of Amazon. And now here we can see that there are different options available, which is buckets, access points, object lambda access points, multi-region access points, batch operations, access analyzer for S3. So here is the bucket list, and as you can see I have already made two buckets here, Aditi bucket list and recommend movies Aditi. So now you can go and create one of your own buckets, and the procedure for creating a bucket is giving a bucket name, assigning your AWS region and object ownership, in which you have to set the default one, and to remove all public access block you have to remove this thing, and you have to deselect this option, and you have to click on I acknowledge that the current settings might result in this bucket and the objects within becoming public. So yeah, you have to keep all your options as default, and then you can create your bucket. So here, as I have showed you, I have created Aditi bucket list already, and these are the buckets and or the files which I have uploaded in my bucket, and these are movies.csv, ratings.csv and users.csv. The rest of the files which you can see are the modified files of these original files which I used when my schema was not matching with my CSV files definition, and you can try and test it out and get a hand-on experience on which file you actually want to use. So here, as you click on a file, maybe it's rating.csv, you will get your S3 URL, and this S3 URI can be used in your dataset import job, where you were required to give your S3 location of your data. So now this data location bar is also filled, and I have already told you about your IAM role and the rest of the things. So as soon as you have copied your S3 URI and you have pasted it in your data location, now you can click on finish, and your interaction data set will start importing. Here I have already created one data set, and I have imported user data and item data already. And this procedure is a bit long and it takes usually 20 minutes, and it depends on how good is your internet connection. If it's slow, it can take even more time. So now we have done the first part of creating our dataset and importing our CSV files into our dataset. So what is the next step? The next step is to create solutions and recipes. Now, what do we mean by solution in Amazon Personalize? Solution basically means the training part of how to train your model, and recipes are the algorithms in which you are going to train your model, because you want to give your model a certain direction to perform your operations in your own desired way, and that will model that thing the model will get to know only when you train it through solutions and recipes. So here, as you can see, I clicked on solutions and recipes and I gave a solution name here, and we have to give solution type as well. Either you want an item recommendation or you want user segmentation. Item recommendation creates a solution that generates item recommendations, and user segmentation creates a solution that predicts groups of users based on item input data. So this type determines what recipes are available. So you have to select a recipe, and recipe includes AWS SIMs, AWS similar items, AWS personalized ranking, which re-ranks an input list of items for a given user and trains on user item interactions dataset, item metadata and user metadata. And the third is user personalization, which is AWS user personalization, which predicts items a user will interact with and perform exploration on cold items. And the last one is AWS popularity count, which calculates popularity of items based on total number of events for each item in the user item interactions dataset. So now, as you have created your solution, you will be required to select hyperparameter optimization. You can choose whether you would like Amazon Personalize to find optimal hyperparameters. It will train your model in even more efficient way, and then you can click on create and train solution. So after solution, we will try to deploy our model, and this is done in Amazon Personalize through campaigns. So when you go to campaigns, you can see as I have already created 4 campaigns and the status is active and the solution used in my campaigns are also given. You can also create one campaign of your own and give your campaign a name and select a solution which you created previously. As soon as you give your solution name, you'll get a solution version ID, and you can give the minimum provision transactions per second. Also to note that all these procedures of creating solution and making them active and all these things will require some time, and we'll have to be patient through all of the procedure. So yeah, as soon as you have given your solution name, your solution version ID will appear and you'll have to provide minimum provision transactions per second. In this case, I have given it as 1 and I have created my campaign. So now when you have created your campaign and the status becomes active, you can now go and see your test campaign results. So you have to give your user ID. Since my user ID were available in form of numbers, so I have given 180, and these are my item IDs 11248700, and I have provided even more item IDs later on so that I get more values and more test result and test scores. And you have to click on get personalized item rankings, and also you can choose any filter if you require, but it's optional. As soon as you click on get personalized item rankings, you get recommendations, and these are the items ranked by the relevance for the user are displayed. The score represents how relevant the item is for the user. Higher scores represent more relevance. So as you can see, for item ID 78, the score is 0.38, which is which means that it is more relevant for the user. Here item ID is basically the movie ID because we have used your movie recommendation system, so you'll get your item ID as your movie ID. So movie number 78 is more relevant for the user, followed by movie number 8700, followed by movie number 1124, and followed by the last movie ID, which is 900. So this is your Amazon recommendation system, and I have provided here the data sheets which I have used in importing my while importing into my data sets. And the first one is ratings.csv, which I have used in importing user interaction data. And as you can see, here is user ID and an item ID, rating and timestamp. The second one is users, in which you can see user ID is the main column and here the details are provided. And the third one is movies. The second one, which is user.csv, is being used in importing users data, and the third one, movies, has been used in importing item data. So in the first one, you have to import rating.csv. In the second one, you have to import users.csv. And the third one, you have to import movies.csv. And we have to make sure that a column name matches with our schema definition. So these were the main three files which I used while uploading into my datasets. So these were the features of Amazon Personalize, and I'll provide the link of the PDF in the description box, and the links from where to download these datasets also I'll provide in the description box. So yeah, in this module, to conclude, we got to learn how to use Amazon Personalize web services to make a recommendation system and how you can make one of your own. Happy learning. Thank you.